Hey, Coach. Good morning. Good to see you. I wanted to ask you
Morning.
about the fumble production you guys got in the game, and particularly the defensive backs. You know, three of the four forced fumbles came from defensive backs. I was just wondering if there's a coaching point or something you can tell us about how Coach Alexander and Coach Burks kind of get those guys coached up to get so many balls on the turf.
Well, I would say it's one of those things that we work with all of our guys as a group. We start practice every day with tackling turnover circuit. The unique thing about that is we have all of our coaches coach all of our players. So as we go through the circuit, which I'm sure you guys have seen out of practice, it could be a number of guys that are coaching different techniques. Obviously, it's something that we believe in very strongly. Our players believe in. They work at it tremendously hard, and we were able to see some production from that on Sunday.
Daniel?
Hey Josh, I wanted to ask, obviously the Patriots start the game with the 35-yard run, not how you want to start, and they had some success running the ball. When you look at the film, what stood out to you in terms of some of the success they had on the ground?
Well, I would say the thing with the New England game is that, obviously we can coach it better. We can put the players in better spots. We could do better at our fundamentals and techniques. There were some good things out there, and then there's some things that we need to improve. But I'd say the most important thing is we've kind of turned the page on that game, and we've moved our focus to Buffalo. It was good to get a win, but one win's not going to get you anything in this league.
Hal?
Hi, Josh. How you doing?
Good morning.
I wanted to ask you about Jalen Phillips. He was in on only 22 plays the other day, and I know he was limited throughout training camp. Given that he came into the draft recognized as such an outstanding pass rusher, was there thought given toward letting him focus on that to start his NFL career and then gradually work in the coverage skills just to kind of let him show his skills right off the bat?
Well, I think with all players, you expose them to a variety of different things. And then ideally what you'd like to do is you'd like to utilize their talents to what they do best within the scheme or the structure of what we're trying to do, given a game plan. So, again, I thought Jalen did some good things out there. I thought there's some things that, like all of us, we can improve. And again, we've kind of put all that stuff behind us, and, we're full steam on Buffalo.
Marcel?
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Good morning.
Speaking of Buffalo, then what was it from what you took away from that Steelers game? What was it that Pittsburgh did so well to stifle a Buffalo offense that was second in the NFL last year in passing yards and total yards and scoring?
Well, I think one thing to take into consideration when you're looking at Buffalo, they're very much a game plan oriented offense. So one week they could look different from the next. They're going to attack what they perceive, to be your weaknesses. So, I mean, in a given week, their game plans can look different and vary. Obviously, they're a very talented group. They're very well coached. Brian Daboll is one of the best coordinators in the league. So I would expect, that we'll see some different stuff than they showed in the Pittsburgh game. Obviously, Pittsburgh, those guys defensively, they played well. They tackled well. They made plays when they needed to. But again, I would say each game with Buffalo is a very unique thing in and of itself.
Omar?
I know we don't like to look into the past too much, but the season finale game against Buffalo kind of stands out because you guys didn't look like that all last season. What were the lessons that you took from that game that maybe you carried over to the offseason in terms of things that you needed to improve on? And how has that game sort of altered your approach?
Well, I mean, I'd say, this is 21 years of coaching for me. So not all of them have went exactly the way that you want them to go. I think your approach and the the things that we believe in, fundamentals, skill, fundamentals, techniques, taking it one play at a time. I don't think that changes. I don't think one game changes that. Obviously, in some games things go your ways, in some games they don't. But I think our approach is put the players in the best position to succeed and work hard to make sure that we're doing that, and then really focus on our fundamentals and our techniques, playing one good play at a time and doing it for 60 minutes, because wins are very hard to come by in this league, and we're going to have to be at our best for an entire game. So that's kind of the approach. Doesn't really change. Hopefully that answers your question.
Cam?
Hey Josh, how you doing, man?
Good morning.
Good morning. I think looking at this Buffalo's team, you can't really look around Josh and his ability to kind of be a dual threat. I'm curious, teaching point wise, how do you try to teach your guys to defend both his legs and arm?
Well, I think we got to play good assignment football. Guys that are assigned to play the pass need to play the pass. The guys that are assigned to play the run or the quarterback scramble, they need to be able to play that. Obviously, he does a good job when he's running the ball, and he does do a good job when he's on the move, looking downfield and making plays there. And he's got guys that get open when he extends plays. So, I mean, it's very challenging. And I would say, again, I go back to Brian Dable. He puts them in very good schemes that make it very difficult to defend.
I guess if I can follow from like a philosophy question, if I can, the QB spy, some teams use it more depending on the style of quarterback and whatnot. What's your thought on that style and when you decide to use it and when you don't?
Well, I would, again, I think there's a time and a place for everything. And, the game's been around for a long time. I think that, we've kind of seen it all, and things go full cycle. And I think you just pick out, what you feel is best for the group that you have against the group that you're going against. So, without kind of saying too much on that, I think it really comes down to personnel, what they do, what we have, and what we can do. So I think there's a number of different options that you have on that. And, honestly, it really goes back to you're just trying to put your players in the best position to succeed.
Daniel?
Hey, I know you guys had 5 cornerbacks active against the Patriots, and obviously Noah was a healthy scratch. I know you'd say you're probably just trying to put the best guys out there, but what does Noah need to show you in practice or wherever it may be for you to feel comfortable having him active on game days and out on the field?
Well, there's a lot of things that go into the decisions of, who's active on game day. It's not just a defense or, there's a kicking game element involved. And, and then obviously that's, Flo's job as a roster management to let us know that, who we have available. I think Noah's working hard to get better. He had a good week of practice last week. And, whether you guys see guys out on the field or not, like the thing is always the same for us. We're always trying to get players to be the best versions of themselves. And some weeks players will be highlighted. They may have bigger roles than what they have in the following week, because we could be a little bit different week to week. So, he's working hard, happy with that. And hopefully it continues. And, when guys get their opportunities, hopefully they'll make the most of them.
David?
Morning, Josh. Just your thoughts on how John Jenkins held up playing more snaps with Raekwon going down.
Yeah, I think like all of us, I think there were some good things out there, and then I think there's some things that we can get a little bit better at. I thought John, went in and did a good job. He's a solid veteran for us. He gives us good leadership. I thought he played physical. I thought all of our guys played physical and they played hard. Again, I think it's, my job to make sure that we're doing a better job of putting these guys in, better situations so they can have success out there. Because I think all those guys, they played hard and, did a good job.
Marcel?
Hey, Josh, asking about Buffalo again. Considering Josh Allen's success against man coverage last season, how critical will it be for you Sunday to throw different looks at him, more than just man coverage, but to mix in zone. And I guess to kind of follow up from that, is he the kind of guy that it doesn't really matter how many looks you throw at him? He's just going to make a play. He's just going to make plays throughout the game.
Well, I think Josh Allen's a very good quarterback in this league. I think he, again, I think their offensive staff has done a great job with him. You could see his progression over the years, and I would say that Josh Allen plays the quarterback position as good as anybody. Like, I mean, he's doing a really good job for him. He can read defenses. He makes good decisions. He's got a strong arm. He can make all the throws. I think what you try to do is like what we try to do every week. I mean, you try to put pressure on the offensive line. You try to put pressure on the quarterback. And obviously, you don't want to sit in the same thing over and over again, because that will make it a little easy for them. But, again, you also want to put your players in a good position to succeed. So I think there's a variety of things that people have tried to do to him. He's seen it all. He's seen it all over the last handful of years, and he's obviously done a very good job with that. And so we got a big challenge in front of us this week.
Barry?
Josh, I'm curious, have you watched the tape of the season finale, the Buffalo game, at all since, week after it happened over the last 8 months? And will you and your players watch any of that this week?
Yeah, I've seen it several times. I mean, I've watched it, quite a bit. Obviously, you try to take as much as you can from each film that you watch. I think, that just goes into part of preparation. You like to study, players, schemes, calls, all those things that go into it as we're game planning and prepping this week. So, yeah, it's definitely something that we look at.
Hal?
Following up on Barry's question, they scored 56 on your defense, which I'm sure you're not used to at all. If you could change one thing for this upcoming game from that last go round against Buffalo, what would it be?
That's a good question there, Hal. If I could change one thing, I just hope that, that I'm going to work a little bit harder, a little bit better, put the guys in better positions. I don't really go back and be like, oh man, you can play the what if game all you want. I mean, you just kind of try to study things and try to do what, we believe in. And that's really, try to put together a sound game plan that the players can execute, and then really just take it one play at a time. So, I don't know that, you live in the past one way or the other. I mean, I've been part of championship teams. I've been part of, losses. At the end of the day, none of those mean anything this Sunday. So I think everything, what means something is our preparation, our work going into the week to put ourselves in the best position to succeed.